would you place demos? Why would you do that? Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and today I'm covering a 4v4 on the map, well, White Ball Express. So, unfortunately out of the 4v4 competition I just did in CoH2, there was not a Blue Ball Express. I was really hoping there would be, but alas, there was not. But maybe in the future. Right now, though, we have 3 Soviet forces and an American versus 2 OKW and 2 Soviet forces, making Major Shrink Age Jerry, Mad Crown, Gala, Red Chowder, Lolly Suki, Nonsense, and Prod. Anyway, let's see. We got ourselves Soviet Combined Arms, American Airborne Forces. We got ourselves Grand Defensive, Encirclement, which, yeah, it's white ball or red ball. That's going to be a thing. Mad Crown as well going Breakthrough. So, a nice assortment of doctrines for, you know, your heavy TDs, just heavy tank destroyers, and possible, like, end game maneuver with Encirclement. But we'll see if that actually prevails. If you do want to support the channel, I do recommend following and subscribing on either YouTube or Twitch. Really does help me out. And maybe I might be streaming. Right now, the plan is 151 will start streaming on YouTube consistently. Both YouTube and Kick. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, oh, a new streaming platform. That's nice. Oh, they have all sorts of gambling aimed at kids. Oh, shit. Well, this is not exactly that much better than Twitch then, is it? But anyway, we'll see how things go. Right now, forces are heading right. Trying to take over the victory point. In mid, it's kind of, well, there's an MG there, so at least the Soviets technically have it. They're just going to grab the munition point first. Left-hand side, though, Soviets are doing the best they can. They got Penals pushing back the Pioneers. Just Grenadier and Volk Squad now on their throats, so they'll have to try to do what they can. Luckily, Nonsense is bringing up another MG to hold the line, and they're going to need it. Right now, in mid, there is a Sturm trying to grab territory, but don't expect him to push against that ground. They're going to need a mortar or something against that MG in that building to really push that force out. Now, at this moment, we got ourselves a few other pushes going on. Pathfinders, again, thanks to the airborne, pushing on up with an MG as well as suppressing those Grenadiers. Echelon behind some solid cover, doing the best it can. And right now, it seems to be enough with the MG, thanks to the Maxims by the Soviets, pushing the enemy back and effectively allowing them to take the right VP. So it stops the bleed for the Allies for a little bit. But again, I don't know how effectively that will do, especially as right now the Germans are trying to push elsewhere. And it's not... Wait, hold on. Scout car on the left with Penal support and MG might be enough. Penal's opening fire. But again, they're so low on health. Grenadiers pushing in from another angle. Hans Fusiliers up. Something exploded in front of them. MG covering as well. Soviets are forced to withdraw after taking heavy hits. They have some reinforcements, but that'll just be enough to maybe stop the line from collapsing more than counterattacking. In mid, the Soviets are still forcing themselves up, grabbing the munition point, which would be a nice little win. Again, munitions, it doesn't win games like armor, but it does allow you awesome upgrades and airstrikes. And it looks like the Germans have been, unfortunately, very apparent of the fact that the Allies are using their munitions. Speaking of which, on the right-hand side, Allies actually dominated the Germans, managing to push up, placing beacons to detect enemy forces. MGs are set up, mines being placed. Lolly and Chowder, or I'm just gonna say Suki. Suki and Chowder doing a pretty good job. Again, maybe some tank traps, maybe some additional beacons over here to help in mid, and I can easily see this being a solid Allied defensive point on the map. Left-hand side, though, the Germans are building a forward bunker, that way they can heal. Right now we have Panzerfusiliers as well as Volk Squad, so a nice assortment. Scout car's gonna have a bit of issue because, again, a lot of fouls and a lot of AT grenades that can be fired at it, so not as an easy win against random MGs as they may want. Nice Shrek as well, pushes back the scout car and kills it thanks to the Blob. Again, Blob is 3 or more men in close proximity. Conscripts trying to hold back the Grens and also the rest of the infantry forces. Mortar, again, if it gets a good shot right here, that would be amazing. But alas, unless They hit a mine or something, that blob will just continue to cause havoc. Nope. Instead of hitting the blob, it goes after the grenadier. Again, allies need reinforcements, and luckily Penals and MG is coming on up. Counterattack by the Germans is ensuing, but not really gaining any traction. Panzerfusiliers taking a lot of hits, grenadiers as well. Just being suppressed. But again, it's a quote-unquote counterattack, but it just takes time and momentum to really gain ground. Because I see possibilities here. You have a support gun, which could smoke right in front of the MG. The infantry isn't being healed, so eventually they'll be worn down. And we have a medical back here, so we know the Germans are being healed. So, yeah. It's like, haha, the counterattack failed. And it's just like, yeah, give it a minute. And then they'll just exploit the weakness of this. Because, again, the American player, for right now, cannot heal. For right now. As I say this, a shouter brings up an ambulance. It's like, where is everybody? Oh, shit. They're closer to the front now, aren't they? The blob is pulling back. The rifleman, very low, needs to get the hell out of dodge. MGs, though, are slowly suppressing the force. They probably need another support gun or something. But I do like Suki's MG coverage. And it now has an AT as well. And another MG. So purely support, while the rifleman is the one bringing up the front line to drive the enemy away. Now, the real big thing is also the flank coverage. Like, if this group gets hit by the side, this whole line collapses. But luckily, unless I'm mistaken, Nonsense is still trying to fight in mid. By the way, Prodra went mech, so we have an ISU. We have good artillery and direct strikes. We have airborne, and again, we have good advanced medium armor with some marked targets to boot. So a good assortment right there, right? So at the very least, it's a good counter to what the Axis have. The only thing would be make sure you build caches for the encirclement. But that's general. That's nothing commander specific. Alright. Medical is still one piece. We also have multiple mortar half-tracks. So Major's really trying to counterattack. And again, he has the support. Plus, if he gets enough command points, he'll have the definite airstrike to just wipe an entire area out. Anyway, luckily the ambulance can reinforce everything on the front. On the far side, we have, again, allies trying, but the Soviets can't muster enough to fully take back this side. And now, they're on the back foot. They're running. Nonsense now is forces are so, like, out of tune, he can't guard mid properly, which might allow a flank against this American force. There is an MG that's kind of guarding it, but just something to keep in mind is we could see that push. A half-track on standby. Something just blew up over here. I heard it. Oh! Oh, hello. Did they use counter? Did that mortar just kill a mortar half? That mortar just killed a mortar half-track. Now that's what I call damage. Alright. Shouter laying it on the enemy. Doing a pretty damn good job. But, so Volk Squad's Pulseful Slayers pushing on in. Guard forces just don't have the health to fight that. There's an MG, but it's being constantly bombarded. Now it looks like the American player has to go into mid. Luckily, they're chasing after dead Soviets rather than prepping and holding mid. So that gives them a little bit of breathing room. Alright. So what are we looking at right now? So MG's opening fire. Machine guns are trying to suppress that force. Panzerfusiliers taking the side with the Sturm officer. Grenadiers counterattacking. We got a fear prop over the area. Again, they're trying to do everything they can. Grenade is thrown, not enough to kill the Zis gun. MG's still trying to suppress. And again, I love all the MGs crisscrossing. It's weird, it's convoluted, but it's still providing solid coverage. And they do manage to stop Mad Crown from coming in and just completely making the entire area collapse. Soviets do have a quad mount charging in, but there is a AT gun that will say hello here in a second. So, not sure what the idea was there. Alright, we got American forces being dropped in, I think. Yeah, it's a paratrooper squad. Except unlike that first CoH2 game, where they drop and immediately die, this one, it's a lot better. It's a lot more stable. It actually makes sense what they're doing. Support guns as well, so it looks like Mad Crown got 2. And it looks like the Germans are slowly but surely gaining more momentum. Now, they are still down heavily by about 90 points, but they still have time. They still have a decent amount of time to gain more headway and to actually, you know, get a footing down, which I think their best shots on the left. I feel like the Soviets, while they have good infantry, they don't have the resources to heal on the front. So as long as the Germans can take the hit, they can reinforce and easily bounce back pretty well. Armor-wise, we still have the half-track. We have the mortar half-tracks coming in to help on this side, even though they're being targeted by guard forces. American Blob coming in, taking the munition point once again. MG goes down. It's like, sorry, buddy, you can't take the MG. American forces are effectively pushing back the Germans. The Blob is managing to take the MG-42. And remember, they have the ambulance pretty well secured near the front, so they can get that back and healed up. Support gun's going to be KO'd here in a second. Raketenwerfer is out of position. Same thing with the other support gun. Again, good job on Chowder going in the back lines and absolutely pulverizing the back. So excellent job right there. Meanwhile, again, so if that's all happening along this line, is there any response force? Not really. You got mortar half-tracks coming on in. We'll pound them from afar. Okay, you got some fear propaganda thanks to the Sturm Officer, but like anything else? No? Alright, so there goes the entire German counterattack. And now we have 3 MGs coming in. It's like, don't worry, America. Don't worry, America. We got plenty of bullets for the German bastards. We will send thousands of rounds into this and into them. Literally, as 3 Maxims continue their slow advance. Now, there is a blob of grenadiers, but again, the American forces... Oh, he's fully retreating? Oh, that could be bad. Does he have a major? He does not. And, yeah, looks like mortars hit some units on the retreat, too. Damn. Alright, so that could be an issue. Now the MGs are all in one spot. He has no snare, and the Axis brought in some additional support. Oh, no. This, now, yep, immediately he pulls back. He's like, I know where this is going. I know. MGs, though, they're last standing right now. They're suppressing the blob. Smoke comes in, though, to clear it. No additional AT. Probably the one negative I would say about the American. Needed AT. But they're still managing to suppress the blob and force it back. God damn these Soviets. Suki's like, I'll take you all on. And actually manages to pull back all 3 MGs. Hot damn. Good work there. Meanwhile, even though that is a route for the Allied forces, it's not a complete route. We do have armor coming on in. There's still a semblance of a front that they could do. Engineer did die, though, so that's unfortunate. So, as long as they can try to, you know, get everything going, maybe in terms of, like, the mortar, the AT, everything set up, I think they can hold the fuel. The Axis will at least take this back. I don't see the Allies holding on to this point. On the left, though, T-34 is causing havoc. That's for Red. Again, Red, again, brought the Panzer IV, now moving on to the left. There is plenty of AT with the Penals and Petros rifle. And also the guard troops with Petros rifles. They can also button, which he does. Unfortunately, T-34 does miss target. Grenade is thrown. Not enough to kill it, and they can still reinforce. Has some, which he will do. Keeping it alive, although they're trying to kill it. Panzer IV runs over the guards. Damn. Remember when that was a thing? Oh, wait, it is a thing in Code 2. Just not Code 3 for some reason. Alright, he's grouped up. Panzer IV. I was going to say put him down, but apparently that is not the case. And he gets absolutely wrecked and driven away. Hot damn. Alright. MG just slowly wearing down what's left. And the Allies actually managing to take back the left. It was a hard fight. But Red's falling apart. And Gala is... I mean, like, he's not exactly in the best state. Middle-wise, the American force actually managed to retake it and hold it. The German counterattack to grab the right fuel failed thanks to the MG line back up on the front. Again, the fact he didn't manage to get all 3 of those out. In Code 3, I guess units are stronger. Yep. In Code 3, units are literally able to either have like kung fu skills and dive out of the way, or they can hold a tank back. Sure, why not? Fuck it, they're all Steve Rogers. They all have super soldier serum. But a flamethrower, that will easily burn them. Alright. Now, the Americans are back in town, and there's not really much the Germans can do. They have a good infantry force. Oh, there's the MG. Okay, never mind. They have something. But even then, they could... Oh, they don't have grenades! Oh, okay. Yeah, this could be an issue. You get grenades, buddy. Get grenades. Like, that would help. And, oh, there goes that unit. But otherwise, that blob's going to be suppressed. Plane crashes in mid. Infantry blob is suppressed. MG's, though, coming in clutch. Once again, Suki coming in to save his ally. Mortar support, though, coming in. Only 2 kills, but now vet 3. And the Germans are once again on the back foot. We do have a cache as well, so at least the allies have a counter in case you do see an encirclement. Axis forces are down by 250 points. Damn. Counterattacks against the Soviet failed. Looks like they might actually lose a squad if they're unlucky. That's unfortunate. Gala trying to get the hell out of there. Run, man, run! Stug there to try to save that force, but alas, that was not the case, and he does perish. Shrek team's fire. T-34 is close to death. Stug finishes it off, and at least that's a small win for the Germans after they lost the Volk squad. But again, they need to continue to, you know, do what they do in order to prevail. We have Katyusha fire now coming in on the left. I believe there's a Katyusha on the right as well. So the Soviets bringing in their rocket artillery, which will absolutely devastate the German pockets that are healing or playing defensive. T-34 in mid. Lots of T-34s. I don't mind that necessarily, but especially because you do have Katyushas, but maybe one Su-85. But it also depends on like the player, right? Like Prod, he got himself a Katyusha, but he's also trying to most likely save up for an ISU-152, so it doesn't really make sense for him. No nonsense? Maybe. He has a quad mount. And again, Suki is the other one. Suki, okay, going on the right, he has plenty of T-34s. Then I'm assuming the American player is bringing up the Jacksons. Again, the one criticism I will say for Chowder, you have no AT. Oh, wait, no, you do. Okay. It's now coming on up. You just got it. So you didn't have AT for a while, but now you do. Okay, so at least he has something to fight the German armor, which is pretty potent now. He got himself a Panther. But even though it is like, oh, he got a Panther, the biggest threat is the infantry blobs, right? The Germans don't necessarily have an easy counter to that, not like a Sturm Tiger or a Goliath or something, you know, that could effectively neutralize a big blob. Like with the Stuka, they don't have that. Their best shot is slow damage with infantry or mortar fire, but like it's gonna be still difficult for these mortars, even the mortar half tracks, to just wipe squads like a Stuka can or Sturm Tiger or a Goliath or any number of those types of units. Hold on. Stormtroopers managed to get behind the lines. I guess deploying from this building. Trying to camouflage, but that is not happening here. He does manage to get around this T-34. Hold on. T-34. I don't know if he spotted the unit or... Oh, that plane crash almost revealed it. Multiple T-34s trying to go around to find them. He's most likely going to try to upgrade with the Shrek package, I would assume. This man is not in position. He needs to get behind that tree or somewhere. T-34s couldn't find the unit and just moved back. It was probably the wind, Frank. It was probably the wind. Frank, it's never the wind. And they have sight on both. If I'm the Axis players, maybe a frag bomb to kill it, and then you do, you know, close the gap. Or close the pocket, sorry. I was like, that's not right. Oh, that's not good either. Katyusha fire pushes back all the Grens, and again, that MG force. 100, really solid stuff. Hell, it's even managing to scare away the Panther. Guys, it's just the wind. The wind. There's the infantry force walking by. Again, they're shooting him. But they're not paying attention. They shot him. He took health damage. And they're like, nah, keep moving. This is like the, oh God. Nice Sturmvik strike, though. Oh, damn. Get shot down. T-34. Both T-34s die. But Panther at least got KO'd. AT gun's still there. Again, he can run around. But I think Red is just going in for the cash. I'm surprised Major doesn't want to coordinate with this, but we'll see. Jackson probably like, what the fuck is he doing? But he's going to focus on that cash. Do you even upgrade MP40s? You figure you would. That way you could get tactical assault and try to focus. Throws incendiary instead. This guy's going in for it. He has the resources for it. This is bad. This is very, very bad. And he's calling in a direct strike. Is it on this front? Encirclement's about to be called in. Oh, crap. He got it. Ladies and gentlemen, he got it. He's there. Encirclement's acted. Run! Oh, fuck. The allies are in full retreat. But that's still, they're being hit by artillery fire, Stuka bombs, everything else. Katyushas, T-34s, it's all running. A half-tracks, mortars, MGs, all under substantial fire. Half-track goes down. Artillery piece probably next. S-85 walking into it. Oh, God. AT gun in harm's way. And the Germans are advancing, clearing the caches and everything else. Stug force moving in against crippled armor. The entire front line has just collapsed in front of the Soviet and American forces. Pack guns are lighting up any stragglers. Stug now being lit on by the S-25 and T-34. The armies need to move up. Some of them are less likely, or not less likely, but less reactive. Gala is moving up the Tiger, taking over the position. And American forces pushing on up. At the very least, they did have to go back too far, because as long as they're, as long as they pull back without outside the encirclement zone, they're okay. So I guess they just walked back and then just sprung forward. Population-wise, we are still seeing like a, sorry, resource-wise, we're seeing a lot down for the Allies. Population-wise, we're looking at what average being in the low 70s. Axis, I mean, Red took heavy losses and pull that off, so probably upper 50s. Not the worst scenario, but again, oh, Werfer, come on, come on. It's a little short. Need to be a little more, but at least he did force some of the units back and suppress it. All right. But good reaction play by the Allies in that situation to make sure they didn't lose an entire army. But the Germans still moved up and is in a good defensive state along most areas. But the Allies now have to survive. We got breakthrough coming on in. So the Allied counterattack now faces another set of artillery challenges. Unfortunately, the MG and mortar is really under fire. Are they really not going to take any damage? Oh, never mind. Here comes the Werfer. Mine did not. If that mine goes off, surprisingly, does not. Although Soviet forces will probably need to pull back. Artillery fire breaking up that last MG should clear the way for infantry to move up, take the fuel. MG might survive, which, hey, it's pretty solid. Ow. I accidentally just rolled over my foot. Anyway, Tiger now fighting the IS-252. Excellent job right there. We have ourselves a bit of issue though, as a lot of German forces right now are just being caddied to death. They're gonna have to pull back. Barely, I might add, to the medical facility. I think, yeah, the bunker got KO'd, so that medical from the OKW is the last thing standing. Germans, though, still holding the front with heavy infantry, though the IS-152 is like, that's cute, and just is blasting them. Again, they still have a lot of points. They're like 9-1 down, so they have a long way to go before they manage to turn this battle. Soldaten hiding in this on the other side of the smoke. Cash is being placed everywhere. Wait, why would you place demos? Why would you do that? If you demo it, both will go off, and if both go off, then you lose the cash, and if you lose the cash, then they can just drop in a strike. Okay, at least this one doesn't have that, so that should be easier to hold. Genius. No, it's a pure genius decision. Alrighty. Grenadiers pushing along left-hand side. Guard forces under substantial fire, but managed to get out. At least the Germans continued to the 2 to 3 to, VP advantage that they're holding. ISU 5-2 actually taking decent hits from their cannon warfare, and now Tiger moving on in from Gala. That's some actually good moves. Now, Tiger needs support. ISU 5-2 down, but again, as long as it keeps backing up, it's fine. Stug Force, though, hold on. It could definitely use heat shells and cause absolute chaos for the tank destroyers on the Soviet front. MG, also not positioning. There it goes. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. We got a bit of fight left in these Germans. It wasn't just the encirclement. Stugs might take out the IC-152. Prode losing a good chunk of his army. Air support, though, trying to help out where they can. And additional forces from No Nonsense coming on in to try to relieve pressure. But the Stugs are coming in against that T-34, trying to kill the Tiger, who's marked. One last ram. Shocks, but does not kill the Tiger. But the Air Force, seeing the wounded Tiger, takes it out, even if it was the last thing they could do. Excellent maneuver. Hell of a hit. Again, AA mode needed to be activated, which it was not. And that would have maybe helped keep the Tiger alive for a bit longer. Infantry forces moving on in. Obersoldaten pushing on up against it. Nice bundle. Almost kills the penal. On the right-hand side, though, consistent Soviet and American forces. Assistant American and Soviet force attacks are taking back the VP. Stopping the bleed that was hemorrhaging the Allies to more of a slow bleed. With a 1 VP advantage. Now, Panther needs some heals. A lot of infantry needs reinforced. But he might be trying to save up. I think he's a bit off to get a Yag Tiger. That could help, but I don't think it's a good idea to save. But we'll see. Maybe a Jagdpanzer would be honestly better in this situation. Excuse me, sorry. American forces pushing up. Holy shit, that's a lot of Werfers. And that's what the Jackson said as he snipes one. It's like, again, I've been watching Band of Brothers. That scene where the guy looks over the hill and you just see all the Germans. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for your kind comments. Anyway, he just sees all the Germans. It's like, just start firing. Just start firing. There's so many. Anyway, a lot of infantry moving on up. Panther counterattack. Paratroopers dropping on into a combat zone. Hoping to hold the line. Katusha firing. Kind of missing. Although if they keep walking into... Oh, good. They dodged. T-34. I don't know what he was looking at. But looking at something. Okay, now we're down to tie. Thanks to the left-hand side. Although Panther does effectively push back some of the armor. Katusha close to the front with no real good coverage. Oh, here comes the guards. Never mind. They have something. By coverage, I mean something that will stop a unit from chasing another unit. Anytime I mention coverage in a game, that's what I typically mention. Because a lot of games, it's like, okay, you move up this valuable unit, and there's nothing stopping that valuable unit from being chased down and killed, because there's nothing there. Or you have a big tank, and there's nothing stopping it from being overwhelmed, right? So right now we have this Ostwind. Again, Red trying to go in for that encirclement, but there is a Zis gun. There is some units here that could assist. T-34 with low health going on in. Again, going wide. Also, we have a Panther trying to push, but unable to break through. What the fuck? Sermovic's like, don't worry. I'll hit him. What's also hilarious is the fact that if he does the direct strike on that target, right? If he does break supply, he might actually decap the position because of the demos. I've never tested that out, but I think he would, because the explosion would kill the cache and cause it to be cut off. My assumption. Also, by the way, you don't have to go for a full cutoff. You can go for, like, a smaller cutoff, right? And get a side rather than a whole point. But you have to bring an opponent up and then cut them off. So, a little more risky, but it could be something you do. It'd be done. Now, I will say American forces needed repairs. Germans still holding this position and do manage to get the Yag Tiger. Though, again, reinforcing it's going to take a little bit for his veteran troops. Yag Tiger is a solid tank destroyer on the front. Combine that with the MGs, Panthers. They have a good force. Left-hand side, though, is a little more wary, a little more open because they don't have, like, a big tank. They have a lot more support tanks, and now they're fighting AT and such. Do they have artillery? Not really. A Werfer on the left would probably be a good idea. And less so, you know, sacrificing units to the gods. But right now, again, about 160 points. The Axis have done a really good job of managing to hold on to those VPs and make and take advantage of Allied overconfidence and hit some of their bigger units. Again, they can only last so long. Right now, Pradra is bringing up whatever he can. In that case, the Katyushas, while the other Soviets bringing up more, you know, armor. We have a small counterattack by the American. Katyusha fire seeing the Grenadiers, which again are grouped up. You want to separate those so that way a Katyusha strike doesn't kill all of them, which seems to be very close to being the case. Panther and Yag Tiger push back the T-34-85, although does, you know, do some damage to it. Not a ton, but does some damage to the German armor. Allied forces, though, now hits the second wave of German reserves, this case being the Panzerfusiliers and the Sturm officer. And they should easily hold back what Allies have on the front. Panther moving on in. It's being buttoned. Air support's inbound. There we go. And the Allied Air Force comes in absolute clutch to kill a very vulnerable and valuable unit. Hold on. Cervix strike comes on in. Doesn't kill, but does hurt the mortar half-tracks. Panther trying to go for the deep dive. Almost kills the mortar carriage. Jesus. Air support hurts the Yag. Again, activate AA mode. You have that in the back. Right? Like, if you go back here. Oh, he did. It's just not shooting? Or not hitting? Or maybe not being as effective? Damn. Oh, is it the trees? Is it the trees stopping him from seeing it? You just can't get a sight on that? Damn, that sucks. Guys, we'll put it up around all this vegetation so that way it can't be hit. So what about planes? What about planes? Oh, it can't shoot. Well, shit. A lot of the tanks on the German side need heals, reinforcements for their men. Allies quickly getting their heals up for a counterattack, and I think they could launch a counterattack based on the units the Germans have. The only catch would be the artillery fire. If they get hit by a nasty artillery shot, then it's absolutely a bad spot to be in. Katyusha lighting up the Panzerfusiliers and the Volk. Half-track under fire. Panther hitting the Raketwerfer. Volk squad lighting him up. Alright, again, left-hand side's looking more brittle than the right, but we'll see. German forces managing to hold on. Again, about 140-point lead. German panzers might try to flank. Again, T-34-85, so a lot harder to kill than your base T-34. Panzer IV is advancing. Oh my god. Air support coming in clutch. Hitting the Panzer IVs. This panzer charge by Red was not what he wanted at all. This completely backfired. Allies took it rather well. Air support as well, keeping things very good. Panzer IV might escape, although S-35 can snipe it still. Come on. Extended view. Fires. Kills the Panzer IV. No going home for those Panzer commanders. And the Allies successfully managed to stop that possible push against the rear lines. Again, when you have a guy that goes encirclement, especially if it goes and is successful the first time, they become short-sighted in terms of only focusing on getting another encirclement. It's like they have to get another high, right? They have to get another high of doing the encirclement tactic rather than supporting their team. Guys, just one more encirclement. I can feel it. I just need to sacrifice these panzers. It'll work, I promise. And then they just keep going further and further down the rabbit hole. Panzerfusiliers trying their best to hold the front. But again, so far, not necessarily going the way they want it. This gun opening fire. Tiger pulling back. Panzerwerfer's opening fire now. Does stop the point from being capped, and right now that's keeping the Axis in the game. Infantry units, whatever they got left, is pushing on in. Again, no mines, so remove the sweeper. Oh, goodbye. Oh, actually, no. I was expecting the grenade to kill it. It did not. A little shocked by that. Oh, wait, it's Vet 2, so more survivability, right? No, is it? Shoot, is it Vet? Damn it. I know the serve gets it, I just forget when. Son of a bitch. Anyway, Jackson does kill the mortar half-track. There's another one, though, still alive, still causing absolute chaos for Allied support equipment. Left-hand side, though, not looking great. There is a King, but artillery fire is seeing the medical base. I mean, Gala doesn't have much of an army left. The Soviets just pouring in. King advancing. What the hell are you thinking? Su-85 sniping. And T-34 getting behind it to try to stop him. Ramming himself into it. Not a full ram, just a, body block. Stu trying to help out his teammates, but it's too little, too late. And the Su-85 and all the AT guns are just going to rip him apart. The Germans are just falling apart on the left. The right, they're still holding, but it's getting to the point where they may need to send reinforcements mid to stop that from collapsing. But again, they have their own shit to deal with as the Soviets push up. Suki trying to kill the Tiger and Panther. Successfully kills one. Air support coming in on the other. But Tiger and lots of infantry, though, pouring on in. Seeing this opportunity that has closed, he's going to pull away. Jackson trying to, again, snipe this, entangled mess of armor. They fire some AT grenades that could snare the Jackson. Or, I thought they were going to. Tiger taking a lot of hits from those P-47s. Great kills, though, by the infantry. Keeping the point under German control. But again, the Germans are losing everything on the left. And the Allies have reserves where the Germans truly do not. So, I think this is GG based on the fact the left side is completely fallen apart. More so than the right side, keeping things together. So, yeah. No, solid job. And a solid match. Okay. So, yeah, whatever's left of the German forces being picked off. Allies have mid. And I'm pretty much going to guess that's going to just seal the deal. Werfers try to counterattack, but they just don't have the men to push up. And that's a surrender. Pretty solid match. Again, you can survive an encirclement. You can continue to fight on. And again, don't panic. Just do a orderly retreat. Get your men out of there. Make sure they live. Again, if you have to sacrifice 1 or 2 units, that's okay. And then, yeah, the Allies came back in a really good way. I thought that was a positive engagement, overall positive match. Great stuff across the board. But yeah, I think that was a good match. I truly do. I think that was a really solid overall game. But hey, what do you guys think? Thank you to Challenger for submitting this, getting top damage and top kills, so really solid stuff. Prod's AT guns really came in clutch. No nonsense was the Su-85. Suki had great T-34s that never died, so again, shout out to that preservation. Jackson as well, okay damage, but hey, also never died. And paratroopers that may have been produced a lot, did get a decent chunk of kills. Major, again, pack gun that tried to hold but did die. Panther as well, definitely lost quite a few. Gala, half-track that actually surprisingly did a lot, but again, I think that's more killing planes than anything else. And then, let's see. Red is Stoogs. Again, good encirclement and good push with the Stoogs with the Tiger support, but you pushing up your Panzer IVs against that was a really dumb move, and not trying to coordinate with your team to try to counteract and beat the allied defenses and doing maybe a better encirclement some other way. But what do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. Again, if you want to support the channel, make sure, of course, you subscribe and follow on Twitch, like and subscribe on YouTube. Whatever you do, thank you, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, and before y'all go, let me give a special shout out to Patreon supporters Joey G240, Milam, Big Cooch, Aphyria, Ace, Pyro Shark, Tony B95, Epic Pleb. Thank you all for your incredible support and helping me grow my channel and support my channel and everything I do. Thank you, and to the rest of you, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.